There's whiskey going on tonight, so we're not really sure how that's going to work out. That's so excited.
It's fine. It's not my story.
Welcome everybody to another week of Case Files with Kat
and Ashley.
All right.
Got my support kitty.
Are they there?
One is.
I saw the other one somewheres. Well, we were supposed to also have Sarah. She fucking ditched us.
She got her invitation and she just...
I mean, she got her very public invitation, I have to say. Mm-hmm. Very, very public invitation. And we were denied. So, no, I'm just kidding. It's Christmas time, y'all. It's Christmas. It's the holiday season. And loop-dee-doo, the-dee-dee-dee-beep. Yeah, so, and as we mentioned last week, on last week's episode, we did record the episode we're going to record again tonight. So I was kind of hoping to have a third person.
It's okay. I will pretend to be completely
Oh my
shocked.
God, it's going to be so sincere. I also tried to get the wizard.
Should I pretend to be Sarah?
No.
Okay.
That'd be really funny.
I'm just kidding.
I tried to get the wizard to sit in, and he's like, no. So he's just sitting in the room right now watching us. It's like having a weird one-person audience on his phone. So he's not really paying attention, but he is. Know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's kind of weird. Anyway, so how was your Thanksgiving?
It was the first time I've cooked Thanksgiving food, like...
Yourself?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And it turned out pretty good. Didn't burn the house down. The food tasted good. Like...
So that's a win.
Oh, and
You made the turkey?
I didn't do turkey. We had... there was ham and green bean casserole, mac and cheese, corn casserole, things like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, so it was exciting to not burn the house down, to not ruin anything.
That was so adulting of you.
I know it was. And I got the cheesecake from Scrumptious. It was a
Yum.
It was a pumpkin spice cheesecake, and it actually was amazing, truly. And it came with a little pumpkin ring. So cute.
Oh,
Anyways.
that's cute.
Anyways, it was good. It was good.
Y'all buy local.
Yeah, it was a good. Ended up being a good Thanksgiving.
Oh.
How was yours?
It was
Seemed
good.
very festive. It seemed very festive with games.
It was
and
lots
people.
of games. We had my father and stepmother-in-law, and Jason did all the cooking. So it was like just like delicious. I literally had it for 4 days. So I mean, it was delicious. Bravo. And we played games. My a nephew and a niece and her boyfriend came as well, and so we just had a lot of people here for some fun games. They did blind Mario Kart.
Oh, okay.
Have you ever played that?
I have Mario Kart, but not blind.
So Olivia and Jason were on a team, and Papa and Anderson were on a team, and they got first place. Among like how many racers? I don't know. It was like 10 people. It wasn't just like 1 and 2. It was like there was like 10 people, and so they got first place blind.
Nice.
And it was just like left, right, left. Straight. It was really funny.
I binge watched Stranger Things. So that was what I did.
Olivia comes in to the bedroom this morning and is like, "Guess what? Someone dies."
Oh,
what? I haven't even watched an episode yet, girl.
Yeah.
Back up.
To be fair, lots of people die in Stranger Things in general.
Yeah. I think she's sad about this one. This is the one she's sad about.
Yeah, it was good. It's,
I don't want to know.
I'm not going to tell you. I'm just saying, like, that's what I did. I cooked all day.
She told me, but I'm not going to ruin it for the other 4 people listening.
Cooked all day and then watched Stranger Things. And, I watched the dog show. That's my jam. It's always watch the dog show, the National Dog Show.
What's that called? What is that called?
The
Westminster?
Yes, West.
That right?
Yeah, something like that.
Ooh, it's in there somewhere. Best in Show. I love that movie. I love that movie.
Yes. That's good.
That's a good movie.
Anyway,
it looks like we live next to the Griswolds now.
Yes. Oh my God. Every time I turn into the street.
It is so sad. We're like the Grinch next to the Griswolds.
My neighborhood, lights everywhere. My street, pitch black. Our street lights even out. It's like barely on. Like the whole street just black. No one on my street. Like nothing. The rest of the neighborhood has Christmas stuff up everywhere.
Oh my God. And as you can tell, I am still getting over some kind of crazy illness. So if I cough or just sound very mucusy, apologies.
You hear my little ice rattling. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. Actually, I can't really. Not like him. But like I actually lost my ability to smell and taste on Wednesday. So before Thanksgiving.
Oh. So
and
what you're telling me is you have COVID.
No, I did take a test.
Thanks for telling me right now in the moment.
Took a test. And then it came back like the next day. I was weird. Like, yeah, it's just weird. Yeah. It's not like 100%, but it's like it's there.
With all this weather changes back and forth and stuff, like my allergies and sinuses have been crazy.
And what everyone didn't get to hear was that I had spent that weekend with 49 children.
Yeah. My nightmare.
Your nightmare. Like the reason that you will never have children. And you know, just how many sick kids there were. I was like, Jesus.
Yeah.
So yeah, just surrounded. They were feverish. Like straight up 104. We're popping Advils and Dayquils and Theraflus and like there were so many kids. Flu A, flu B. No one had COVID. There was someone was puking. One of the leads.
Why were they there?
Because the show must go on. There was nobody to take theirs. Like they are that serious. They're like, we're fine, and they did better than I ever could. Better than I ever could.
So stressed out.
These 11-year-olds were like, trying not to cough while they were singing their solo. Jeez. It was amazing. It was amazing to watch. I was so happy that I got to see it. My kids were great. That's the reason to have kids, is just to see them do so well.
It's okay.
Anyway. Okay. So like I said, 3 weeks ago. So I did my first story, that was sort of the inspiration for Buffalo Bill. Like, who inspired this character? This is such a crazy, iconic character. So I did Gary Heidnick, and we kind of saw Buffalo Bill in his story because, you know, he had the pit of despair in his cellar and kept people in there. You know, I don't know about the lotion on its skin, but he definitely was trying to keep a harem of people in a basement tied up in holes, trying to create the perfect race with his sperm. I'm not 100% how he didn't really think that through, like the not feeding these women to be pregnant. Like it doesn't work. You know, I don't think he knew how biology works or something. Oh, do you hear your other one? He's already getting upset. So
I see him.
The second one, I already did the third one, so I don't think I'm gonna go to the third one. But the second person that inspired Buffalo Bill is the character that I am going to talk about, the monster I am going to talk about tonight, and that is Ed Gein. I feel like I'm stuck on this thing right here. Okay, now most of us have probably already watched the Netflix special series that just came out with Charlie Hunnam. Amazing job. Okay, tell me, did you watch it?
Amazing job. I did watch it. I didn't, for me personally, I didn't like all the fabrications, like where they embellish things that he didn't actually do, because I felt like people are just going to watch that and think, you know what I mean? For me, it like takes away from the victims, because he didn't actually do those thing. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but I didn't like how they embellished. Like
he did a lot of those things though.
Yeah,
I don't know about the
lot of
I don't know about the like
do.
Yeah, there's a lot that he didn't do, but there is a lot he did do.
Yeah, but like I don't want to ruin it for anyone that hasn't seen it, but
we'll
like
get to
some
it.
of the things
We'll get to it. If I talk about
like,
something or like, you know.
I just felt like
he probably didn't dance.
There's like where they highlighted some of the victims in a different light, like worse than they actually were. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Sure.
I didn't like
that
like
the dating and the whatever. Yeah. 100%. Okay, so I will say though that I do hope that Charlie Hunnam gets some kind of nomination.
Yeah, he did phenomenal. He did great. And I liked a lot of it. I loved the filming style of it.
Oh, you did. Yeah. I think we talked after we watched it, Jason and I watched it, and it was sort of like, what was it trying to tell us? Like, I think that was his biggest question. Yeah. Like, what was it trying to tell us at the end? I think it, you know, more than in the other monster series, it was a reflection on us as the viewer.
Yeah.
And so I think that is probably one of the things that Ed Gein brings about. I think that's a conversation that he alone has really been an impetus for. I think his crimes and what he did and when and where he was and how he was raised and all of these things make us uncomfortable.
Oh, I can't remember the actress that was his mother. She
mother.
was freaking amazing.
She was the one from Roseanne, the sister.
Well, she's from Roseanne, but she's also Sheldon's mom in Big Bang Theory. I can't remember her name now, but she was amazing in that. I felt like everyone they picked for that series did phenomenal for their roles.
Seriously.
Yeah. But you're right. It does speak to those things.
Hold on. Hey, y'all, I'm wearing a heart monitor today. I just got it. I'm supposed to record an event. I don't know. I was supposed to record an event, and I felt like I just had palpitation like that.
No.
Maybe. That's all right. That's all right. This is, hey, we're taking care of ourselves, right? Right?
Well,
I'm trying to figure it out. That's it. Just trying to figure it out. Okay. So I think that, I think that her place in Ed Gein's story, and I will talk about his mom. I think her relationship with him specifically is such a huge part of who he becomes.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a conversation that could probably be debated in so many different ways, like nature versus nurture. There wasn't a whole lot of nurturing, but the lack of mental health, just awareness, I think, because at the time, like when and where, like when he was in the early 1900s, and the signs of emotional abuse, and at what point does his reality just sort of snap and has not getting the help that he needs? Because of this super unhealthy mother-son relationship. And I think these are all conversations about this person, this monster, like what he did. And I agree. I think some of the embellishments in the show, I think were for scandal. I think to add a little bit of something like him alone. I don't think that they needed to do that. But I don't know how they would have introduced some of these people. But I mean, his disassociation, his just complete mental breakdown after losing his mother. There's so much that happens in such a short amount of time. Right. And so I think that this story is just has the reason that's inspired so much. And at the end of the show, how it's just like a mirror to us. Like we also create these monsters. Like we help create, we're perpetuating that we make fanboys, like there are people who are following, and what is the right way to treat mental health, mental illness, severe mental illness when it comes to crime? Are we doing what's right? I mean, there's so much that this one particular case like brings up and could continue to bring up, I think. Right. Anyway, Charlie Hunnam needs an Emmy. That's it. That's the tweet. All right. Let's jump into it. All right. So Ed Gein was known as the Butcher of Plainfield. That was what they called him back in the day. So imagine this. I'm going to just start with sort of the end.
Okay.
All right. This is 1957, November 16th. This is the day it all comes to an end. Or at least when he gets arrested. We're in Plainfield, Wisconsin, and it's a town that is very small. Just several hundred people. Right? Very, very small. Everyone knows everyone. The gossip. Whew, right? Biggest news is like, who bought a tractor this week? Right? But on this particular bitterly cold Saturday night, my mouse has decided to stop watching. So bitterly cold Saturday night, Sheriff Art Schley is standing in the doorway of a farmhouse on the outskirts of town, and his boots are crunching on the frozen ground, and there's no light coming from inside of this farmhouse. It is empty. It's dark. It's creepy as hell. Only the flicker of his flashlight as he pushes open the door. And inside, the air is heavy. It's musty and stale. And it almost is sweet in the way that it turns your stomach. You can definitely smell copper. Imagine that. The beam from his flashlight is sweeping across piles and piles of junk, trash, empty bean cans and newspapers and magazines and just filth. It's covered. There's yellowed newspapers. There's tools. There's what looks like animal hides hanging from the rafters inside the house, except that they're not animal hides, but they don't know that yet. As Schley moves deeper into the house, he spots something hanging upside down from the ceiling in the shed. Headless, gutted, like strung up like a deer in hunting season. And according to police reports later filed that night, it took several moments for officers to realize that they were looking at the body of Bernice Warden, a 58-year-old hardware store owner who had vanished just that morning. That was the moment when Plainfield lost its innocence, and when America met a man whose name would become synonymous with horror itself, Ed Gein. So, let's rewind. That's the moment. And I will get into what all they found that night.
Yeah.
It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. So let's talk a little bit about the making of Ed Gein. All right. So he was born August 27th, 1906 in La Crosse County, Wisconsin. He wasn't a kid who stood out. You know, he was odd. He was quiet. He had this way of laughing that would sort of unnerve people. He would nervous laugh, but he would also laugh like out of nowhere, and it was a really high pitched laugh, so it kind of made people uncomfortable. He had a nervous smile, and he had like a growth on his tongue, so it did kind of give him like a weird speech sound sometimes. You know, just like, you know, maybe a little bit of a lisp, or it was a little lighter. It just, you know, maybe it hurt to talk a little bit.
Yeah.
He did have he had a lazy eye. And so, you know, he just kind of kept to himself a little bit. He wasn't given a lot of social, social skills. You know, he wasn't taught those kinds of things. So school was a little bit hard. He, you know, the laughing at the weird times, and that it's a high pitched laugh. It was just kind of, it was, you know, he stayed in the back. People didn't really mess with him too much. His parents, though, George and Augusta Gein, moved the family to a remote 155-acre farm outside of Plainfield when Ed was about 8. 155-acre.
That is crazy. Like, how did they even afford that back?
I mean, there was probably nothing but land.
That's like a crazy whole town almost, isn't it? Like, I feel like 155 acres is insane. When I was little, we owned a 12-acre farm, and I felt like that was giant. So imagining 155 acres, holy crap.
I want to see like how big. So like the Friendswood covers 13,440 acres. And that was 150 acres. So, okay. I mean, it's still huge. That's huge. So he was about 8 when they moved there, and the move wasn't for peace and quiet. Honestly, it was isolation. Augusta, she was an interesting woman. She wanted distance from what she considered to be a city full of sinful people. Look, she'd point at anybody, and they were just all sinners. They were just, it was a sinful world, especially women. Not her, but all other women. Very interesting how she felt like that.
Yeah.
She preached. Now, some of us, I'm not saying all, some of us could be a little bit, no sex before marriage and there's some piety when it comes to sex, and that sort of thing. This woman took it like beyond the beyond. All right. It was this unhealthy obsession to teach about the sin of sex itself. Like, she spent a lot of time in her Bible studies with her son talking about sex, like how bad it was and how lustful women were and how weak and worthless men were. Like, this was a very, very big topic for her. She wanted Ed to worship her. But yeah, there's just so much. There's so much to unpack about that. Women were instruments of the devil, except for her. I don't really know how you get around that. I don't really know
how you justify it.
Like, she would just tell them, keep away from them. She'd tell her sons, they'll corrupt you. So, okay. Sex was to be after marriage. Sex was just to be for procreating, just to make a baby. And even then she was like, and it's gross. Like, she just, I don't know. It must have been religious duty why she had children. Or like, at the time you have to be married or else you don't get anything. Like, at the time you have to, like, that's like your only thing you could do.
Yeah. But she didn't even want her son, didn't she? She didn't even want kids.
Yeah. No. Like, yeah, no.
She seemed like a very miserable woman.
She was the most unhappy woman probably to ever walk the face of this earth. George, meanwhile, was a violent alcoholic who had no self-esteem, which is such a... Augusta ruled over him. Really. Once they had kids, so they got married in 1899. They got married, and their first son, Henry, was born in 1902. And Ed was born in 1906. So 4-year difference. And George at that time was like, oh man, I gotta support this family, right? And so it took him a few years. And so he was like, let's start a grocery store. They sold meat and groceries, right? Well, he wasn't a very good businessman, but Augusta, she was the shit. So she took over, made him the clerk, and was like, she got the store up and running. She was going to get it done. And this is like a perfect example of like, man, she was just born. She would have been a boss bitch, right?
Yeah.
Rather, like, you didn't have to have a kid. You didn't have to have 2 kids at that. But she really wanted a daughter. Even though she hates women.
That's so weird.
Weird. I would love to talk to some psychiatrist or psychologist about why, like, if she believes that women are just the root of evil because of their ability to be so lusty, I guess. I don't know. Corrupt the weak will of men. Why would she want a daughter?
Yeah. Especially to that extreme.
Maybe she wanted someone who would take care of her in her old age, like to prep a slave for her, someone who's going to cook and clean and sort of have that. Like, I don't know. But when she had Henry, she was so disappointed in having a boy. She never bonded with him. So this is the first son in 1902 when he was born. She never really bonded with him. It was almost like, ugh, like, ugh. Go away. There was no motherly love. There's not, if you hurt yourself, there was nothing of that. She didn't have that relationship with her sons. When Ed was born, she was like, fuck, I can't I am not having sex again. So this is it. Right. And so she was like, well, I'm going to have this kid, but I'm going to make him better. I'm going to make him a better man that's been, like she was going to make him in her vision. And so she really had this overwhelming, not impression, like this was her pet project, but not in a good way. Yeah. It wasn't like pet, like I'm going to treat you like a pet. She would like abuse a pet. Yeah. Like she was awful to Ed, and I'll get more into that. But George was drinking. He was drinking to the point, like this marriage shouldn't have happened in the first place.
Yeah. I'm so confused on how they even got together.
I think it was even before they got married, like the families were like, are you sure? This doesn't really make sense. He didn't come from money. He didn't, I don't know if she was just like, you'll do.
Yeah. Oh, I assume she was.
Right. This is what I have to do. You'll do. But I mean, it was a miserable marriage. Miserable. There was nothing positive about this marriage. And so he drank himself into a stupor, oblivion all the time. And he eventually died in 1940. And there was so little mourning for him. It was almost a celebration. Like after he hit her, she would outwardly like pray to God for his death.
Oh, wow.
Which is not super Christian. Yeah. Neither is hitting her, but I mean, is God going to be down with you like praying for the death of somebody? Like, please let him die. Please bring about his death. Like that's not cool. I don't think God's down with that either. Yeah. I would say Jesus would not be a fan of that. So he left the family in the hands of a woman who believed she was the voice of God. This is when George died. That was it. And Ed worshipped her. And I think that worship, psychologists would later say that a psychiatrist rather would say later that Augusta wasn't just his mom, she was his entire world. And I think that shows how big of an influence that she was, and her inability to relinquish any power, to give them any free will, to give Ed any free will was, I think she liked that. And so, I mean, so there was just so much abuse happening just in that little bit. So the brothers, Henry was 4 years older and much more grounded because he didn't have the relationship with Augusta that Ed did. He was a bit more grounded. We didn't really get to see him much in the Netflix special. But both he and Ed worked lots of odd jobs in town. They were just the handiest of men, very, very hard workers. If they were given a task, they would finish it. I think that Ed did well with tasks, with structure, with order, knowing what he had to do. But Henry started to question, this was after their father died. They're now in their 30s. They're still both living at home. And Henry really started to question Ed's being controlled by their mother. Like they would have these conversations and have these fights about how Augusta it was an unhealthy relationship, and he was just trying to get Ed to leave with him. You need to get out of here. Like, this is not healthy. You're never going to live your life. You're never going to have a life, right? Like, this is not the way to experience life. There's so much out there. And what she's doing to you is she's hurting you. And if he had had the words then, I mean, this is in the 40s, right? Like, there's no words for that yet. Like, they don't have, like, they just didn't. I mean, they were living on a little farm, a huge farm. And he didn't have the words for that, but he could see, because he was not as under her control. So he could see what was happening. And according to later accounts, he worried about Ed's obsession with her. Like, he would tell people, this isn't healthy.
Yeah.
So it was a conversation being had by multiple people. On May 16th, 1944, so 4 years after George died, a brush fire broke out near the farm. And so the brothers were working on the farm and they went to go fight it. When firefighters finally arrived, Ed claimed that they had gotten separated in this firefighting extravaganza, and that he had lost sight of Henry and had no idea where he was, except that when they actually got the fire out and under control, Ed took them right to his body, but he wasn't burned.
Oh.
He wasn't he wasn't like burned to a crisp at all. Yeah. His head was bruised, though the coroner ruled that the death was accidental.
Sure.
That he died likely from smoke inhalation, though there was never an autopsy done.
Wow. Police work at its finest.
No autopsy. What? Okay.
I mean, I just feel like since he wasn't burned at all, that should have been a little...
Like, I mean, he
took you directly to him?
I have no idea where he was right here. Yeah. Right? It's just like...
Yeah.
And it was so weird. They're just like, well, his body is not even warm, Ed. It was like, huh, isn't that funny? It's pretty cold outside. What? Like, you know what? Why don't we load him up and take him to the coroner's office? Like, why was... None of that situation to me seemed normal.
Nothing at all about this story seems normal.
But the police and the firefighters are like, well, that's cool. It's probably smoke inhalation. He's got a big old bruise all over his head, but it's probably smoke. What?
Yeah.
What? So, thoughts are that this was actually Ed Gein's first victim. The idea that Henry was trying to take him away from his mother, that you are going to tell me that our mother is unhealthy and is doing evil things to me, that is making me bad, like is making me, like you are making me question my reality and my world. She is my world. You are dangerous to me. So you must go. You know, like that could have been it.
Is it a possibility that she told Ed to do it, since Henry was kind of like a rebel in her eyes, like a...
I mean, he didn't mean anything to her, right?
Well, you know what I mean, but like he wasn't following like Ed was. He didn't worship her like Ed did.
Yeah,
he was
awesome. That's
doing
an awesome
crazy
point.
things.
Right,
like,
that's an awesome
in her
point.
mind.
Yeah. I mean, that he was off doing whatever with whoever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's a great point. Like maybe she was like, he's got to go. And the farm ended up going to both of the brothers after George died. So they were the ones that owned the farm. Now Ed is the only owner of that farm.
Wow.
Because it can't be
that's not suspicious at all.
But it can't be in her name. So, I mean, it can't be in her name. Or at least maybe it could have, but it was meant to go to the brothers. Yeah. And I mean, that's a good point. Like maybe she encouraged it. I don't think that he would have had motive in that way. Like, I'm going to take the farm kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he would have felt like that. I don't think that would have been his motive. I think it would really have been, you don't talk about my mother that way.
Yeah.
And then for her, say, maybe she wouldn't have to worry if it was under Ed's control, that it was basically under her control because he just was her puppet.
Right, right.
So that it could, yes, what I'm saying is, yes, that could be a potential possibility. I don't know if that was ever really looked into or not.
I mean, obviously not. If they're just like, yeah, this is totally normal.
So after Henry died, Augusta suffered a really major heart attack. And at this point, the only person in the world to take care of her was her son. She was left paralyzed. He had to bathe her. He had to toilet her. He had to feed her. This was like all he did day in, day out and he had no problem doing it, but that must have been mortifying for her.
Yeah.
I had to change my father's diaper one time.
Yeah.
The humiliation on that poor man's face for me having to do that.
Yeah.
I'll never forget it.
Yeah.
No parent, right? Like once she was of right mind. She knew what was happening. This could not have been, you know, she just had a stroke. She just didn't have the ability to do that. But she was, you know, she was doing physical therapy. He had her getting, you know, he was taking very, very, very good care of her.
Yeah.
But I'm sure at this point, he's an older man. There is such a cross of emotion and weirdness at this point.
Yeah.
You know, he has been sexually repressed his entire life.
Right.
This is, you know, he is still a virgin, probably. He has been sexually repressed. Women are off limits, taboo. Don't even look at them. Don't talk to them. Don't even go near them. And now he is having to both toilet and bathe his mother for months. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, that just gets really dark, you know, just in the mind of who we know who he became. There is this like twisted, like what she created by imposing such strict values on him,
right.
you know, and it just, I think that then he started to get really into taxidermy. He was getting into like the dissection of animals. Like in high school, he had really uncomfortable questions for his teachers when it came to that portion of the lesson to dissect an animal. He was fascinated by intestines and how bodies were put together. He was and he would read books and magazines about the preservation, taxidermy, and the preservation of all of these things, the headhunters, you know, that shrunk heads. And all of this was fascinating, but it wasn't about women. And so Augusta was okay with him learning all about it. He was obsessively learning about the preservation of remains, you know, and like, she never was like, this seems concerning.
Yeah.
Right? Like that is concerning. Jeffrey Dahmer thought that the glistening intestines, the heart, all of the how wet it all looked, that was arousing for him.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And there's like a name for that. I should have looked that up. So it's like, this is all like, so desire starts to be tied to this very high level of violence.
Yeah.
Right. And what a fucked up way to learn about desire.
Right.
That is just, ugh. And now you're washing your mother head to toe for months on end.
Never probably having seen another woman before.
And you're already obsessed with her. You're already like, she is your world. She's everything. She is a perfect human being that you are not worthy of being around. So not long after, she did actually get better. And you know, she was still an awful, horrible woman. This is the kind of mom she was. She would literally tell him, only your mother could love you.
Oh, wow.
Like, this is the kind of, she would say this from when he was a child to an adult. You're useless. Only a mother could love you. Like, you are so horrible. Only a mother could love you. You're a piece of shit. Only your mother could love you. So that you basically, so nobody else could in the whole world could possibly love you. It's so fucked. It's so, I cannot imagine ever saying that to my child.
I can't imagine what that would feel like, being told that.
I saw a t-shirt on Amazon. It said, not mom's favorite. And I wanted to buy it for myself because I kind of know what that feels like.
Oh, I know.
You know, you know what I mean? Like, not mom's favorite, because everyone has those shirts like, I'm mom's favorite daughter or whatever. Like, not
I'm
mom.
Definitely not.
Like, not mom's favorite. And so I kind of get maybe a smidge, an iota of what that might feel like, but I can't imagine hearing it all the time.
Yeah.
Awful. But in 1945, after she suffered her big stroke, she had a bigger stroke and she died. And if you believe that monsters are born out of grief, this is the moment when Ed Gein's world snapped in two.
I bet he was not prepared at all for life.
He was not prepared. And I want to say this to all parents. Please make sure that your kids are prepared. Please make sure that your kids know how just to take care of themselves.
Well, I mean, the way she raised him and I am surprised he made it after she died. I mean, not that he was, you know what I mean? Like, I'm surprised he was alive.
Right. Because she kept that huge farmhouse, 155 acre property. She kept that house spick and spanned. It was a perfectly clean house.
Yeah.
And they didn't have Roombas and vacuum mops.
Well, not just that, but like she taught him that everyone else was evil. He was a piece of shit. No one else would love him. Didn't teach him any life skills, really.
I mean, he knew how to take care. I mean, he was a very handy person.
Yeah, but he didn't know how to cook or clean or socialize or...
It wasn't like, nope, he didn't know anything like that. And he also didn't have somebody keeping him on schedule, on track. Like, here's what you do. Get up in the morning and you go do this and you do this and you do this and here are your chores and you do this. There was no structure and he was just like, huh? And so he just got to do whatever he wanted to do. And whoa, he got to do whatever he wanted to do. And homeboy just, his whole world.
I don't mean to laugh, but just, yeah.
She's laughing at my face right now. So the first thing he did was he boarded up every room that she used. Like that was her room. Yeah. He boarded them up. It was sort of like a shrine to her. If he kept them frozen in time, those rooms frozen in time, they were spotless rooms of her. It was like they were shrines to her.
Right.
And the rest of the house though just quickly started to rot around him. I mean, how it kept standing, I don't really know. I mean, like, he did not take care of it. And it's one of those old wooden, beautiful, on the outside, you're just like, wow, it's like a beautiful big white farmhouse.
Just knowing what he was doing, like, oh my God, it's so, oh my God. Oof. Yeah.
So he spent his time in the kitchen, and there was a small side room, and they called it an outdoor kitchen, I think is what they called it.
Did they have a bathroom or did they have a house? I
think they had a bathroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they had a bathroom.
I wasn't sure because it was on a farm. Like,
yeah.
A lot of times they had outhouses.
So neighbors described him as polite, even helpful. Like, honestly, even helpful. He was a handyman. He was a babysitter.
Oh my gosh.
Babysitter.
Wow.
And nobody ever had any problems with him. Oh. I mean, I guess he was still kind of a child in his way.
I could see that.
He would fix your fence if you needed it. He'd tell a good joke at the hardware store. Was he always appropriate? No. Did he say things that were like, maybe you shouldn't comment on a woman's body like that? But they kind of figured you have no social skills. Yeah. And so a lot of what he would say about women especially, or just say out loud, an off-color joke, they kind of just chalked it up to just his weirdness. Ed being Ed. Wouldn't hurt a fly. That was often said. Sweet guy. Just, that's it. And I think that was one of the things that really got to people about this story, was that it's like, it literally could be your next door neighbor. It is the guy you don't think could do it.
Right.
It is that guy.
Yeah.
It does happen in small towns. It does happen next door. It does. Right. And I think that scares the shit out of people. And that, I think, brings the level of interest that this story did, because it's like, oh my God, the worst thing that happened. And he doesn't have like a huge number of kills or whatever. He's not a serial killer.
Right.
That's been confirmed. He has not been confirmed that he is a serial killer, though. You know, if we count Henry, then yes, he's a serial killer. But it's not ever been confirmed. He's only admitted to 2, but his disassociation could have been, you know, that he's protecting himself or whatever. He was this very unassuming, very gentle, very awkward man who people were like, oh, he's not really coming into town anymore. That's okay. We don't really miss him. You know, he's weird, you know, like they tolerated him and it was fine, you know, but, anyway, he with his weird grin and weird eyes and weird voice, his imagination, that just really, he was now this temple of lonely, all in this house with a shrine to his mother, and all that starts to happen.
Did, so it's hard to feel sorry for him, but at the same time, I feel so bad. He didn't stand a chance. I know that you can make your own actions once you're an adult,
right?
But God damn, his mother,
you're making.
She made him into what he was, and it sucks because I know I can't really feel bad. I feel bad for the child part of him, but damn, she fucked him up.
He took somebody who probably had a mental illness from the get, and then exacerbated it in every possible way, giving him those weird ass sex issues and social issues, and you know, don't you know, you right when school's over, you don't have play dates. You come home, you come straight home. You don't talk to anybody. You're not on a sports team. You're not. No, you are working. You are learning the scripture from me. You're not in church. You're learning it from me and my crazy ways.
Yeah.
He didn't stand a chance. And then just to be told how unlovable you are, how worthless you are, day in and day out, and just so that he would worship her.
And then to be told the only person to love you as a mother, and then to lose that person. So then you forever think, you know what I mean? Like, to think you're not ever going to be loved because she's gone. Like, I don't know.
Because she's gone.
Yeah.
And now you're just like, what do I do?
Yeah.
What do I do? So, this is like the solitary years. Like, he was the temple of solitary. I'm telling you. He started to read a lot of those pulp magazines that were becoming really, really popular. So it was like, you know, the kind of true crime with sex. It's like shock pieces, you know, like those kinds of magazines. And according to later interviews, he devoured tales about headhunters, Nazis, and anatomy. Now, I'm going to talk a little bit about his obsession with Nazis, which gets a little, it's going to be gross. So trigger warning on that. But his, one of the heroines, I guess, in his mind, was a woman named Ilse Koch. Ilse, Koch. I'm not sure how you pronounce it in German. She was called the Bitch of Buchenwald.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
She's a very, she didn't hold a title per se in the German army, but she was a war criminal who, while her husband Karl Otto Koch was commandant, I don't know how to pronounce that, at Buchenwald. So this was all happening while he was serving in Buchenwald, and she selected Jewish prisoners for death in order to fashion, this is from Wikipedia, fashion lampshades of human skin and other items. So she was really the beginning of that.
Yeah.
She really didn't think that the Jewish people were like human. She really didn't see them as human. And so it was sort of like this was animal hide to her.
Yeah.
And so she kind of, she did a lot of really sadistic, very torturous experiments on her prisoners. She was the concentration camp murderess. She was, there was the witch of Buchenwald, or the red witch of Buchenwald, or the bitch of Buchenwald. So all these magazines, and they were sort of like graphic novels, like kind of giving Ed giving him some real inspiration.
Yeah. Because he was like obsessed, right?
He was obsessed with her. He was obsessed with the idea of creating things with human skin. He was, I mean, this is all going back to his obsession with taxidermy and anatomy and it's all coming to a head, right? And about a year after Augusta dies is when he's like, I think I can bring her back. You know, I mean, his grip on reality is gone now, right? He has the farmhouse is already going into disrepair. It's not been cleaned. Not one time, probably, since she died. Not one time, I bet. There's probably not a dish been done. Trash probably never taken out. I don't even know how they took out trash back then, but I'm sure they did.
We burned it a lot when we lived on
the farm.
Oh, like when we lived in a isolated town, typically you burned it or took it. Physically had to take it somewhere.
Oh, okay. So after about a year, he became obsessed with the idea of transformation, what psychologists would later describe as a delusional effort to, quote, become his mother again. He basically wanted to bring her back to life. And he was going to do that by visiting the local graveyards at night.
Okay.
And that's where I'll leave you this week. And we'll come back for part 2.
Okay.
All right. So hold on to your hats, because it's going to get, it's going to get gross.
Okay.
It's going to get gross. Come back next week and we'll hear all about it. But anything you want to say? You're going out of town? What are you doing? No, Jason's going out of town.
Jason's going out of town. I'm not going out of town. I was like, wait, am I?
No. Yeah, so
the Wizard's going out of town.
The Wizard's going out of town, but you will have an episode next week. And, but yeah, this will be, it's going to be gross. All right? It's going to be gross.
Okay.
All right. So until next week, hopefully I'll have a voice.
Well, one of us will have a voice.
The one that doesn't have to talk. Yay! Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week. Until then, please be kind. See something, say something, please.
You can always message us on our website, Facebook, however you can find us. We're here for you, whatever it is.
This is a really crappy time of year for so many of us. So we're here for you.
We don't judge.
You don't judge. Not every situation is awesome and loving and healthy, and there are resources, and we're here to help you find those. So until next week, we'll see you then. Bye.